Hey, family, and welcome back to a new episode of Transformed and Renewed. Listen, if this is your first time checking us out, I need you to do something for me. Make sure you hit that like button on your screen as well as subscribe to our channel. And I need you to do that because your subscription as well as your like to our channel just helps us to reach more people, as well as when it comes down to the message that we like to send when it comes to health and wellness. We like to reach as many people as possible to educate them, to even help when it comes to prevention of different types of diseases. So again, your liking as well as subscribing to our channel helps us to achieve that. And so I appreciate your feedback. And if you are a returning member or just returning just to check us out again, welcome back. Listen, I'm always excited to share information with you, as well as to learn about some of the things that you may be dealing with. Could be good, it may not be so good, but one thing for sure is I'm going to share the information with you as I get it. Nothing, bias. Again, I like to share facts, truth, straight as it is, okay? So we're going to do something slightly different, and usually I do these every so often, and that is sharing pretty much some information when it comes to weight loss. And this is just going to always be a thing. When it comes down to it, many people are seeking to lose weight, okay? Whether you may be obese or you may be overweight, or you could be at a normal weight, but people still desire to lose some pounds, whether it is in the midsection, in the arms, in your lower parts of your body. People are still seeking ways to lose weight. And so one of the things I can tell many people, even listening, and I can tell you that I've seen many different reasons where people have gone on different types of diets. So they may have said, I've tried the keto diet, I tried the Mediterranean diet, I've tried just vegetarian diet. None of those work. Now, obviously, I know that out of those, the Mediterranean diet, is touted to be a popular one just because of how diverse it is when it comes to different vegetables as well as healthy fats. And so I know that tends to lean more with a lot of people, especially if they like to eat some form of meat, so like seafood, for example. And again, most different types of diets, different people have different experiences with them. I'm not a person to where I would say you should really just stay away from this diet. Not that type of person, because again, one of the things that I realize is that if it works for you, it works for you. The main thing that I always like to look at is, are you getting enough nutrition? So meaning that you're getting enough nutrients in your diet that is going to support the processes in your body for you to survive and to live well. So not just going through the daily motions, dealing with pain, but we want to focus on what are going to be those foods that give you what you're looking for, as well as this going to help you to, again, not only survive, but to live well, okay? Because many people are living, but they're not living well. And an example of this is when you see people in a nursing home, or just seeing people in the public, whether they're grocery shopping. You may see someone hunched over, you may see someone with, a lot of bags under their eyes, not getting enough sleep. And whether they're young or old, it doesn't matter. When it comes down to it, if you haven't properly been taking care of yourself, or if there is a deficiency when it comes to certain nutrients, your body will likely show it in so many ways. So when it comes down to weight loss, obviously there is more than one proven tip when it comes down to guaranteed weight loss. But I will say, at least when it comes down to weight loss, there's one proven tip, okay? So it's not two. I don't want you to try to remember all of these, but at least one proven tip for guaranteed weight loss, and that is consistency. Okay. So consistency is going to be one proven way for weight loss. And one thing I want you to realize, I don't speak to you as an amateur. I've done it. I've done it several times, losing weight. And again, I'm not an amateur when it comes to this. I've been through the entire process of losing weight. So starting at a weight here and seeing how I was able to come down here. Now, I don't speak in terms of, I can tell you how to lose a certain amount of weight within a certain amount of time. But what I can tell you is that within a certain amount of time, you will lose some weight. Okay, I'll put it that way, because everybody has a different experience when it comes to weight loss. But when it comes down to consistency, this is going to be where you have to really, strengthen that mental health, okay, that emotional side of you. Because a lot of times when we have to really do something that we really don't care to do, we can persuade ourselves not to do it. For example, if it rained outside and you said, you know what, I was going to walk around the block and it started raining, you're like, well, it's raining and it's already getting a little late, so I might as well just sit on my computer and do something. Okay, so it's raining outside. And you may not be able to run because you don't want to get sick, but you could likely do some home exercises. And I find every opportunity to get some form of exercise in. And that's not just because I'm trying to, achieve or achieve some type of prize, but I do it because I know what it is doing for me long term. It's an investment. And so when you think about it, it is more so an investment in terms of what are you willing to do to ensure that you, or at least you are reducing the onset of a disease that could be prevented by what you do today. So that could be making a decision not to eat something, especially when you set a goal with not eating it. There could also be, again, if you set a goal for exercising, or at least consulting somebody to say, you know what, I need some help. I need you to help me to be accountable. Can you do that? It's also being able to say, you know what, I'm going to follow through. Even if this person, let's say they have to be out of town or they have another engagement, am I going to use that opportunity to do what I want to do? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to what have you been doing on a day-to-day basis, okay? And for me, that was one thing that I realized that wasn't much of a challenge, but it was just a matter of really, I guess, going through was the consistency part. So I had to put in the work, and I had to also see, okay, days when I really did not feel like eating what I needed to eat, or even doing the types of workouts that I need to do, and even doing those workouts, a part of me was like, we really don't have to put this much effort into it, because I'm the type of person where if I'm doing something one way and I get it down to where I'm doing it well, we have to increase that intensity, because if it gets too easy, that means that we need to increase the resistance. That is just how I'm wired. But when it got down to that point, that was where a lot of decisions were made in terms of, okay, we're going to do this because we have a goal in mind. Now, I realize not everybody has that, same mentality, and it is okay. You may not be able to do certain things by yourself, because you know that if you leave it up to yourself, you're going to get the same results, which is why you need some assistance. That is okay. But what is not okay is avoiding what you already know that you need to do, but you still say, you know what, I may do it some other time, but just not right now. Again, even though you've set this as a goal, you really want to do it, but you're basically saying, I'm just not going to do it right now, though I want to do it. So again, when it comes down to it, consistency is going to be one proven tip when it comes to weight loss. And again, I can tell you that I've been through this process. It wasn't a quick 1 month, 2 months, or even 3 months. Probably more like a year, even 2 years. And this is something that I expected. I wasn't looking at it and saying, man, after 9 months, I didn't lose this amount of weight, I'm just done. No, this is an investment. And a lot of times when you're investing in something, you can't just say, you know what, if it didn't work out within X amount of time, I'm just done with it. Because otherwise, have you really given yourself a chance? And this is the way I like to share with anyone. If you spend however many years, for example, if you are, let's say in your 30s or even in your 40s, let's say you spent, I don't know, 35 years of however you have been living. So you were just kind of making whatever decision. But now all of a sudden you say, you know what, I want to become serious about my health, about my nutrition, just about my lifestyle. I need to get it more solidified. So if you're making that change at age 35 or even 40, but you're expecting a certain result after less than a year or even under 2 years, my question is, why would you expect after 35 years of living the way you were living, would you compare that to 2 years of putting in consistent, focused work for you to expect a certain outcome? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have expectations, but one thing I am saying is, if your expectation is, if I don't get this, then it's just no use. It's like, have you really given yourself a fair chance? And in other words, what I'm saying is, if you spend 35 years of living how you're living, maybe, and I'm not saying that it may take 35 years for you to see those results, but you haven't even given it at least 5 years or even 10 years to see, okay, this is what we were able to do with the work, when we were focused, okay, and we were adhering to a consistent nutrition plan, as well as a consistent workout plan. This is the results that we were able to achieve, okay? And so I want you to look at it from that perspective and not feel, even if you have gone through this journey, think about, did you give yourself enough time? What are you willing to invest? Even if the investment or whatever, the expected date, the expected weight that you're looking at, if that doesn't happen within a certain time frame, what does that mean? Are you still going to continue to make that investment in yourself, or is it just, I'm cutting everything off and I'm just going to do things my way? And if that is how you respond, my follow-up question is, are you really serious about improving your health if you're just going to give yourself that short of a timeline? And I've seen this in many different situations where we can have expectations of not being consistent. And I'm a person where I like to look at variables. So if we have something that is, let's say, five years, and these were the results within this 5 year, I like to have something that's equivalent. So something that is either plus or minus 1 year, 4 or 5 years, roughly 5 years, to be equivalent. But something that can at least say, you know what, if we actually put in the work, even though it compares to this 5 years where we were just kind of doing whatever, we can see, okay, there's some trends, there's some differences within these two variables. And if you and I never look at it from that perspective, how can you really give yourself a good chance of achieving your goals? And so, again, when it comes down to weight loss, it's not an overnight task, okay? Obviously, you could start today, but you're not going to lose 50 pounds in a day. Now, unless you stayed on the treadmill consecutively, but even then, that's not healthy. and that's not really good for you realistically, because I'm sure you have other things that you need to do, like go to the bathroom, wash yourself, just like we all have to do. So again, when we think about weight loss, I want you to think about, what am I willing to do, even if my expectations originally do not work out, am I still going to stick with this routine or just stick with the idea of I want to lose X amount of weight, or if I'm overweight, I want to get down to this weight so that I'm at least giving myself some better opportunities without having some issues. Because being overweight and being overweight can include having an excess of muscle mass. So not only fat mass, but muscle mass as well. But it can also put some pressure on different organs in your body as well as your joints, which is important. So if you're not getting enough minerals and you're adding on so much weight, it can also cause your joints to be affected. I've seen this as well, to where a person has a lot of weight to where it can cause, different types of joints, even in their hip, to just burn out in such a way to where the socket has just deteriorated. And again, this is because so much weight that has been impacting that socket or that joint. And so again, you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best opportunity when it comes to your life. And so again, this is one proven tip when it comes to weight loss, and that is consistency. Are you going to stay with the task? Even if it may not line up with your expectations, or if things do not work out, are you still going to stay committed? Okay. And if you can say yes to all of the above, even if you feel like you don't have the patience, you are doing better than most other people who may not even give that a thought. So again, when it comes down to it, to weight loss, how do you do it? Well, one way you can do it is you can go into your search bar or your browser, or you can even ask AI or Copilot to search it for you. But you want to navigate to www.robody.org. And once you navigate to our page, you want to click on that link before you do any scrolling. Click on that link to schedule your one-to-one consultation with me. And that way you can get signed up and we can get started with this health journey, in terms of losing weight. And we'll go through a lot of different just things to ensure that we give you the best plan that you can follow, as well as to where you can see the results as you're going through this entire process. And trust me, this is going to be a process, but it's going to be one that you want to be fully involved in, because at the end of the day, who does not want to give a testimonial about going through a process, starting from point A, ending up at point B, and you put in the work and you learned a lot about yourself as well. So again, this is something that if you're really serious about, make sure you navigate to our website at robody.org. You want to click on that button to set up a one-to-one health consultation with me. You also want to make sure that you fill out those forms prior to your first consultation with me. And this ensures that I can better serve you, as well as to ensure how serious you are. So if you're really serious, make sure you click on that button to set up a one-to-one consultation with me. Fill out those forms and you'll be on your way to go. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. Again, this helps us to reach so many people when it comes to holistic health and wellness and nutrition information that can essentially save families' lives, enrich the lives of many people. And so we do this by your support, and as well as we continue to share quality content with you. So as we get it directly from the sources, so that can include peer-reviewed articles. It can include multiple sources, direct sources, even from different companies that provide the information. I share it directly with you, no biasness. And if you look at some of our past videos, we go through some of the articles and even content, and you can see it for yourself. So I don't like to make up anything. I like to share it with you, because that way you can make the decision, because at the end of the day, you have to determine what you're going to put into your body. You have to determine what exercise, if you're going to exercise at all, you have to determine a lot of these different things. But I want to be able to give you some information to make it easier for you to choose from. So if that sounds good to you, make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, support us, and until next time,